All right, man, this has been a long journey. Wish I had a drone, but back drug this a little bit. Every time I mean, you got chunks laying everywhere. It don't matter what you do. The chains grab a lot of it and it sticks in there. But anyway, my plan is I got big mounds where I used it with a grapple and dropped it off. My plan is to come back right in here and rake back some of the bigger material out of the piles. But I left that for a barrier, but I'm gonna take and blade that lower side and then take that mulch and then mulch it up and sling it out that way. So we got one big pile there, and then we got a bunch of trees to move, but I went in between them so that way I can at least get in there and chainsaw them up a little bit and then take these piles. Once I start moving them big logs, then I can actually maneuver all this underbrush or the tops, and then that way when I mulch, it'll sling it out further, and then we'll have to drop them. Then we can take those, clean this lower side up, and then we still got some of these. We'll take those and then throw it down here and mulch, and then it'll sling mulch down there. So, but yep, looking good. But if I had Grant here, we'd already probably had all this done. But no big deal, we're still going. We got a bunch of logs to cut, which we'll be doing all that day tomorrow. We get the stumps, so I put all the stumps over there, and then I have one over here, but little one. But once I get all this done and maneuvered, I'm gonna start laying them trees down, and we should be finishing up tomorrow. And then I'll have to mulch that over there while I Grant starts up here. Either or, he can mulch down here while I excavate that up there. But we're definitely getting, by tomorrow we should be finished by end tomorrow. I put those logs there because I kept getting scared about slinging up mulch and busting out the windows and stuff. I mean, those are brand new stuff. It's a brand new building. It's probably gonna make like 4 videos, but I'm gonna try to narrow them down where they're still watchable instead of 30, 40, 50 minutes. So, but this is the first one I've ever done like this. I've done a little small lot job with Chris, but this is the first commercial one I had to go through all kinds of hoops to get into. 4 months of waiting on this job, but it's looking pretty slick. I ain't been able to show much just because I'm by myself, but you get the gist of picking trees up, moving. That's all it is. Probably gonna try to get some tripod on this one. Still got some chunks to come do, but I'm worried about this corner up here. That's the way I'd like to keep it. And then we got logs. Gotta sharpen this real quick, but I cleaned this lower side. This is how many more logs we found, and then I spread everything out to where I can mulch it. I know I ain't gonna get this whole mound, but right now I'm just trying to get to where I can get that last log, and then this is the corner I got to clean out right here, and then a few more right up over here. So yeah, buddy. So what I did was just kind of blade everything and take the chunks of dirt mounds, but mulch the rest of this. I think it's a little bit past lunch. It's almost 1, so by the time I get this done and then drop the rest of these trees, then probably hook the grapple back up and then move the logs, all that stuff. So I'll have to chainsaw everything down. But let me go grab the grinder and we'll grind the knives down. These ain't too bad, but the first day of hitting rocks has really showed it. So, but I got a new pad, so that should grind down pretty quickly. So still got a little bit of life, but you know, obviously it's pine, but leaving almost powder, so it's going to at least be 3 to 4 foot of mulch. But definitely got stuff to mulch up and get it done. All right, so got most of that mulch on that lower side. I'm gonna go ahead and start falling trees before it gets too late, or finish out the rest of the day. It's almost 4 o'clock now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start ripping up that lower side. There's a bunch of them I can mulch up, and then the rest of them's gonna be logs or pulpwood or whatever. So let's go ahead and start dropping them. I'm gonna kind of clean up the lower sides on the down here on the lower slope because of the chunks of rock, but also it's wadded up so it's mounded up because there's probably 4 or 5 foot of mulch in places. But you know, some places I try to go back over, but it keeps slinging out chunks. But this lower side needs to be cleaned up. But once we get all these logs cleaned up, the rest of those trees on just the edges here knocked down, we should be good. So the wind's blowing perfectly the way I need to, that way I can follow the trees. So let's see if we can't get some of those knocked down. All right. So done with the Mini X work for right now. It don't matter how many times I go over this stuff, there's still chunks everywhere, but we'll finalize everything after we get everything done. That way I can work in sections. But you can see there's just chunks, big chunks everywhere. I mulched everything up that I could, which all this is gonna have to be bladed off anyway. So we got these pushed, and once I move these out of the way, I can blade all this to kind of smooth it up. We got to clean that lower side, mulch everything up. See, not sure. Yeah, that's just got to cut everything off. I got all the trees laid down. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the tops out of them and clean the sides off. That way when me and Grant start tomorrow, all we got to do is cut the stumps off and move the logs. After we do that, then we'll be cutting those logs, getting the stumps moved up. So that should take us half a day, and then we'll cut the stumps up, or the logs up, so we'll have those ready as well. So, and then we're gonna mulch that other side over there, and we got a little small job up there, so we're gonna do that first and then this, or probably both up at the same time. But that's what I got done by myself. So I mean, which it was obviously a mess. So if you've ever done this or know what I'm doing, you know exactly how much I moved. I mean, I moved all that, moved a bunch more over here, cleaned those up, and then dropped all that, and then mulched as well. So, but definitely have to sharpen those teeth again. I ate a bunch of rock down here, so, and on this lower side. All right, let's get the chainsaw out, and then I'll see you in the morning. All right, so I'm waiting for Grant to get here. He should be pretty close. Got everything ready, got everything greased, everything's warming up. It's like 32 degrees, and it's very nice and cold. So I got all the stuff that we need. So once Grant gets here, I'm gonna go ahead and go down there and cut the rest of that stuff. I just got too tired yesterday. But my plan is to clean that lower side, bring all the materials that needs to come up here, get all the stumps cut off, and then that way I can mulch that lower side and clean it up, and then that way we can start moving up here and then finalizing the logs, putting them where they need to. That way he can come pick them up. But go ahead and finish mulching everything, and then hopefully we'll get everything done and cut up and the stumps hauled up here, and then we can start up there on the upper side. This is where the noise is going to be coming in, because there's 4 kennels up there, and I think they're 50 foot long, and there's like 300 something dogs up there. Anyway, wait for Grant, and then go ahead and get everything started and cut and de-limbed. That way all we got to do is start moving. Now we just got to mulch. Just got to mulch. We're gonna kind of back drag this a little bit. Right now we're fixing to go to the second spot, and then we'll probably spend the rest of the day cutting those up and mulching the lower side and all the underbrush and stuff like that was left. All right, was gonna record it, but once I dug that tree up, because it curved, came around, you know, obviously you can see it right here, bunch of rocks. We're gonna blade this tomorrow. Before anybody says anything, we bent a few of our bars that we have on our chainsaws because we're piling them up, and then the weight bends them. But you can kind of see how curved it is. So it curves down this way and it goes back in and it curves up. But we'll be mulching this lower side down to where it's kind of straight, so that way they'll have what they call a whelping building for the puppies. Big old stump, got all that pushed over there. We're gonna delimb everything in the morning. We're both gonna go get new bars and chains. All right, had to get a new bar on it. That's what sucks. I don't claim to be a specialist at cutting, but with those bigger logs, it just takes just a little bit of a slip and it bends them pretty quickly and easy. So had to get a county line. I like Oregon a lot better, but this is what they had for the pitch. It's 3/8 gauge 0.50, and then the file size 7/32. But get the cut and let it warm up. All right, we got that up there done, hauling the stumps and cutting the logs. So we're gonna go ahead and start on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mulching while he's cutting, so that way we can get the mulching done. Got to get those cut, so it's gonna be a lot of final tuning, but shouldn't take long. Gotta sharpen the knives. So we got spots to level a little bit and clean up, so chunks to mulch, but it's gonna have to be bladed off anyway, so we're gonna put a pad in parking lot. Got it greased, got these sharpened. He's got a bunch of logs cut. We fixing to hammer down. Hopefully we'll be done by like 2 or 3, so that's all we can do is hope. We got this, we got to mulch the other section over here and then up there as well, so that's just tiny brush. Got a new pad on. Go ahead and grind. Grant's getting the logs cut. They're up here picking up the stumps. So, as always, running behind. But no big deal. Got the logs recut. And it's real dusty, so all right, so this is the top side. Gotta mulch most of this up, which I don't like about the cars being way over there. A couple rocks. Well, we gotta mulch this little triangle right here. So luckily that big rock right there was right over here and I'd have hit that. So it's all lumpy too, so I'm just gonna get what I can get. But we're it's taking a little longer than expected, but I'm gonna thin out like this little stuff like this, so it's fixing to look pretty good. Don't really like much, just a little bit of underbrush and just a couple twigs. It's strange how these trees just growing like this all the way up, like that one. So, but we're gonna go ahead and mulch this before it gets too dark. And they didn't get all the logs and stumps out because they got here a little bit past lunchtime. So grapple trucks are nice, but they ain't as fast as I thought they was going to be, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's get to mulching. Before it gets too dark, I'll show you what I got. Got this lower side cleaned up. So just trying to get these little nooks and crannies before it gets too dark, even if I had to finish up in the morning. So knives are getting dull from hitting all the rocks. But anyway, we'll keep going. Man, I'll tell you one thing, I'm doing what I gotta do to make it, but I can't see nothing, and it's all hills and a bunch of rocks. So I think it's time to go home. I mean, it's pitch black, so it's time to go home. We'll be here in the morning and we'll finish this up, and then we'll start on the other side or the lower side of where we was clearing. I'll tell you one thing, this has been a long journey on this one. Ain't recorded much on the haul trucks, just because I mean I am pushing to get stuff done and get hauled out of here. So instead of hauling the logs off, it's best to just give it to him. And then the brush, we're just piling it up and he's taking it to the brush pile to burn. Instead of mulching it, it's less time. I'm gonna get these knives sharpened while they're gone. The big truck just left, and this one's fixing to get ready to leave as well. But these knives just about had it. Probably gonna have to take a tree take a tree down up there. It's already starting to lean, so I guess the wind's picking it up. That's one of their old city trucks that sets more than, but since he's only just a few minutes down the road, he said he'd use it. It's a big help. But I'll tell you one thing, it is one of these jobs you can't forget, because now next time I'll know what goes into it. So it's an absolute mess. But we cut them 20 foot like they told us to, but in order to haul them, his truck's like 20 flat, and we was cutting them like 20 inches and some change. But it's always it's always something to counter. So we're cutting a few feet off just to get them in there nicely where he can push them around. So it's taking a little longer, and then we'll be mulching that, and then we'll go up there and finish the rest of that. So we'll see how that goes.